success. And I hear so many people and watch so many people that want success, which is different for everybody, that there's a lot of excuses going on. There's a lot of fear that's going on. There's a lot of time that you're wasting on, and then you're complaining that you're not having the success that you want. Well, here are the main aspects of gaining success, whatever that might be, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's as a parent. These are important factors. And I know you know these, but you probably have to hear them again. I know I've had to hear them several times, and I have gotten complacent, and I've put them off to the side. I have created my own excuses. I have let fear get in my way. I have let other people's opinions get in my way. And so what I have to do is I have to bring myself back down to earth. I have to start listening to the things that I need to listen to. I need to read my vision board. I need to rewrite my goals, which I have. I have some goals on my left, your right, that you can't see. And then I have some other goals on this side as well. I have a lot of things that are written down to remind myself to keep me on track to gain the success that I want. And again, success is different for everybody. And sometimes you need somebody to lift you up. You need somebody to hold you accountable. You need somebody to kick you in the butt to get you moving forward. Because look, it's not easy. If success, again, whatever that is for you, was easy, then everybody would be successful, because it takes hard work. Hard work works. When you put the work in, when you put the time in to gain the success that you want, you're going to get it. And then in that pursuit of success, again, whatever that is for you, that there are certain skill sets that you need to learn to move forward to gain that success. And so in any business, and I'm going to focus on the business side of it. If you're starting a business or wanting to start a business, or you're in a business and you're stuck or you're struggling and you've hit a wall, it's probably because there is a skill set that you need to work on to move past that. I don't know who said this, but a lot of people have fear when it comes to learning something new. And the thing is to feel the fear and do it anyway. Because when you fear something, it's based on something that you don't know yet. It's just like when you drive a car for the very first time, or you ride a bike for the very first time. There's a lot of fear there because you're afraid of getting hurt, either physically, emotionally, or mentally. And the same goes for your business. So if you're stuck, I want to help you get unstuck so you can start achieving that success that you want. And these core principles are really going to help you push past that fear that you have so you can gain that success. And what's really interesting about this is every time that I've run into a roadblock, every time I have run into a roadblock, what I have found is that if I push through that fear, if I push through that learning curve, I look back at it and go, man, I wish I would have done this earlier. It happens every single time. Now, some things are more challenging than others, but it's the same. It's the same steps that you have to follow to get through that, to jump over that hurdle. So, to gain that success, it's so important that you're committed to what it is that you're doing. You can't just do it one day a week, right? You have to be fully committed. 110% all in. Now, maybe you have a full-time job and this is your side hustle and you're trying to build it on the side so you can replace that income. I remember that when I first got started, I was working a full-time job in something I really hated to do, but I was doing my side hustle to learn how to do it so I can move forward in life. And that can be very challenging. It can be very exhausting, not only on you, but your family, your spouse, your children, your friends around you. And if you want it bad enough, there are certain things that you have to cut out of your life. Maybe you have a favorite TV show, or you like to watch TV with your spouse every night. Well, you have to make a commitment to say, look, I want to make some changes. And I know how important this time is to both of us, but I'm going to have to make a couple of sacrifices here. I'm going to want to take maybe 2 nights a week to start off to work on this side hustle. And I'm going to be keeping my full-time job because that's bringing in the paycheck. And that's, helping us achieve what we need to achieve right now. But I want to make some changes that will benefit everybody who's involved in this. And you have to make a commitment to, and it can be difficult and it can be challenging. Again, it's that skill set. When you run into that challenge, you don't want to keep that commitment. So it's really important that you do your very best to commit to what it is that you're going to do. And when you commit to it, you need to write that stuff down. And then you need to read that every single day. The other thing is commitment and consistency, they kind of go hand in hand, right? So you have to be consistent. If you say, okay, every Tuesday and Thursday night, I'm going to work on the side hustle. That's what I'm going to do. No matter what, every Tuesday and Thursday night, that is what you do. You turn all the distractions off and you focus 100% on the task that you need to take to move yourself forward, to learn that skill set so you can grow that side hustle and replace that full-time income, whatever that might be. And side note here, don't ever quit your full-time job. There's going to be a lot of maybe pushback from a lot of different people. But if you need that income and if it's going to help keep things in a really good way in your household, then it's important to keep that job. Because also, if you're not stressed about money, I mean, you might be stressed about money because you have that full-time job and it's not enough, but it's a paycheck. It's at least something right now until your other thing starts to take off. So keep that paycheck and go into it with a lot of love. Keep that job, even if you hate that job, knowing that the change is coming, that you're making a change. So be excited about that, because when you're excited and you're giving all that energy to that paycheck of what you're doing, it's gonna push you to be consistent on those couple of days a week, knowing that, man, I'm putting the work in, I'm putting the time in, and here I'm gonna get that much closer if I stay consistent and I stay committed to this for the next year or 2 or 3 or 5 years to completely be doing the thing that I want to do. And it's going to depend on your skill set of how fast it's going to grow. It's going to depend on how committed you are. It's going to depend on how consistent you are as well. The other thing is how determined are you about the thing that you want to do, that you're building right now. You have to have a very strong why for what it is that you're wanting to do, and that will help your determination be really strong. If you don't know what your why is, then when there's a challenge that runs in front of you, or when the season changes and your business is changing because of that particular season and it slows down, that why is not going to pull you through. And that's why it's really important to have a why. Really, I want you to really sit down and think about, why do you want to do the thing that you want to do? Somebody taught me a specific task to do that I've done for myself, and it's the 7 levels deep. And it's basically asking why you want to do this. And it's better if you do this with somebody. And I would love to do it with you. If you would like to do this, just reach out and let me know. But if you have another person that works with you on this, what it basically is doing is it's getting you out of your head and getting you into your heart. Because once you get into your heart, that's when your why is going to be really strong, because your why will pull you through all those challenging times when things are not going right, because it's going to be up and down, right? It's not always going to go your way. You're going to run into a roadblock. You're going to find out that your skill set is not strong enough here. You have to learn something really new, or the season is going to change. You're like, oh man, this is a really bad time to be working on this. But your why will pull you through that and keep you determined to move forward on the thing you're trying to achieve. And then, of course, all this is great. You can be committed, you can be consistent, you can be determined. But if you're not taking action steps towards the thing that you're working towards, like the steps that are going to get you to earn that income from helping clients, or from selling that product, or giving that service that you are offering, you have to take action steps. Organizing your desk, writing down all your goals. Look, writing this stuff down, yes, it's important. but it's not the action step to get you towards that thing you need to do. You need to take actual action to do the things you need to do, like creating content. Like I'm creating content right now, which is an action step that's getting me closer to the goal I am achieving. If I don't make the content and if I don't create it first, and then if I don't put it out there, then writing about this particular content doesn't help me. It's part of the action step, but I have to do the action. I'm doing the action right now. This is part of the action. Then when I'm done with this, then I have to post it everywhere. And then, I've got to create some keywords that go in there. And, part of my content strategy, I have to take those action steps. So whatever those action steps are for you, you have to make sure that you're taking action steps, you're committed to doing those action steps, you're consistent to doing those action steps, and you're determined to take those action steps to get you closer to where you want to be, right? I hope that really this makes sense to you. And a lot of people say, oh, it's easier said than done. No kidding. Yeah, this is work, and it's hard work, but hard work works. The people that work the hardest are the people that are the most successful. I love using sports analogies because, it's a lot easier for you guys and girls to understand. Like when you see the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants, pick your favorite athlete that is very successful. You don't see behind the scenes of what they're doing. You don't see the work that they're putting in. They're putting a lot of hard work to get to where they want to be. If you want to be really good at something, then you need to be committed, and you need to be obsessed with the thing that you want to do to have the success that you want. And it takes hard work. You can't just be nilly-willy about it. You can't just do it here once in a while. You can't be complacent about it. You have to be 100% committed to that thing. And another thing about this is, I want to use the Microsoft or the iPhone example, right? When the iPhone first came out, before it came out, they were working on it behind the scenes for months, as far as I know, maybe years as far as I know. But they didn't tell the world, everybody, every step of what they're doing. Hey, I'm working on this thing. It's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's going to be awesome. It's going to change people's lives. It's going to change my life. And so maybe whatever business it is that you're creating or wanting to create or building, and you're telling everyone, hey, I just created this business and man, it's going to be great. And you're telling your spouse, it's going to change your lives. We're going to make so much money. Talk is cheap. Action is where it's at. So I would highly suggest that just keep this to yourself. Make the commitment and be consistent on working on what you need to work on, and then do it in silence. And then what's going to happen is when you have that success, all the people around you that you wanted to tell about this, that you're trying to convince, which you should never try to convince anybody, and they're like, oh my God, dude, the thing you're doing is amazing. It's incredible. And you're like, yeah, I've been working on this for this long. Like, oh, why haven't you told me? Like, because I've just been working on it. I've just been like laser focused on what it is that I want to create without, because maybe you've done a lot of different things and they didn't come to fruition like you wanted to in your heart because you weren't committed or weren't consistent and you weren't determined and you weren't taking action. So I would say keep it to yourself. Work on the stuff in the background, because that is going to make a huge difference. It's going to take a lot of stress off of you if you're not trying to convince everybody what it is that you're doing. If you're taking the action steps, you're just going to see things happen, and they don't happen overnight. It just doesn't work that way. Nothing, all those get rich quick schemes that you hear about and you see, it's not true, man. Like, you have to work. People are going to sell you the greatest things since sliced bread, and they're going to show you all the opportunity and what can be, what is possible. I have a course that I help people with in my main industry, and then I'm working on another project as well. But what I need to do is I need to put that work in, and I need to show some progress by doing the work that I'm doing. I lost my train of thought. And make sure that I'm continually moving forward to the thing I want to achieve. So I want to talk about these other things down here, which is fear, regret, and excuses. A lot of times there's a fear that is stopping you from doing these other 5 things to create the success. And I don't know what that is for you. It could have been something from when you were a child. It could have been something from a family member, or not the best family life. Or maybe something happened in school. Somebody made fun of you of something. I was made fun of. I was bullied as a child. I was made fun of my looks, and I had a lot of self-esteem issues when I was a preteen. That all changed when I broke my neck when I was 23. But up to that point, there's a lot of those fears. And look, I've had to work on them. I still work on them every single day, because those little tiny voices, even though I work on them, they still back there sometimes. And sometimes when I'm having a tough day, they start talking louder than my other positive voices, right? Because we're human, and that's how it goes. And so fear is going to pop its ugly head a lot while you're trying to do the thing you're trying to accomplish. So there's some kind of fear that you need to address. And what you want to do is you actually want to stare that fear in the face. Maybe you want to go look directly in a mirror and direct those fears. And you don't want to push them away. You don't want to try to get rid of them. You want to face them, accept them, give them the love that they deserve, and then you can get past them. And then the other thing about fear is, a lot of the times, once you do the thing that you're fearful of, you look back to it and go, man, that wasn't so bad. I talked about that a little bit earlier. So, fear would be getting chased by a lion, right? But being fearful of what somebody thinks about you, about what if somebody doesn't like the way you look, or the way you sound, or the way you act, or the thing that you're trying to do, or told you that you're not smart enough, that's all bullshit. Like, that's someone else's opinion of you doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't. That's not your concern. That should never be your concern. So do your best to not let fear get in the way of what you want to accomplish, because you will accomplish it if you put the work in, and you put the hard work in, and you do all these other things I'm talking about. You will get everything that you want. Because here's the thing. Do you want to have any regrets on your deathbed, right? Are you going to let the fears of other people have that regret when you're on your deathbed? Like, Les Brown says it, like, do you want to have all the ghosts standing around your bed of all the things that you wanted to do, and let them die with you because if you let fear get in the way of those things that you wanted? Because regret is the worst thing that you want to have. I don't want to have any regrets on the last day on this planet. I want to give it my all. I want to do the best I possibly can. And look, not every day is good. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, man. Like, some days it's really difficult, but you got to push through, and that's how you get better. Have you ever noticed when you have a challenge in your life and you get through that challenge and you go, man, I'm kind of glad that happened to me, because I'm so much stronger for it. I learned so much more, and I'm going to do my best to not let that happen again. Right? So those failures, they're not failures. There's no such thing as a failure. The only thing that's a failure is if you quit. There's no reason to quit anything. Just you look back at it and go, oh, that's what I learned. Let's do our best to not do that again, learn from it, and be stronger from it, and move forward from it. So, and then excuses. Man, I hear so many people make excuses about everything. I don't have enough time, which is bullcrap. You're using your time in other ways that are not supporting the thing that you truly want inside here. They're using the excuses of, I said it earlier, not smart enough, don't look good enough, don't have the money, don't fill in the blank. Excuse. Look, everything that's happening in your life is happening because you took some action steps to create what's going on in your life. And I know a lot of you are like, oh man, well, I didn't ask for these parents that, had alcohol problems or drug problems, or, I was born and then both my parents passed away, or I was homeless. And I know there's a lot of these other things. What I'm really talking about is what are you doing about that? Are you going to constantly hold on to that thing Look, I had a challenge when I was a child, and my mom wasn't around a lot. She just wasn't. And for a long time, I used that as an excuse for a lot of challenges that I had within myself. Well, I'm being vulnerable here right now. And that was an excuse for me. But then when I addressed it and went, okay, that doesn't define me, and I can't use that to move forward on the things I want to accomplish. So that thing happened to me. Okay, it is what it is. What am I going to do about it now? What am I going to do about it? Because if you want something to happen for you in your life, you have to take the action. You and you alone. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to help you. You have to do it for yourself. If you start pointing the finger and making excuses at everybody else, just turn and look at all the fingers pointing right back at you. It's you that has to make the choice, take the action steps, make a difference in what it is that you want to create. So do your best to work on the excuses and stop with the excuses. If you do make an excuse, and then the result of that excuse shows you some kind of failure, then step back and go, okay, I did that. Let's learn from it. Let's move on. So don't let the fear, excuses create regret in your life. If you truly want the success, make a commitment, be consistent, be determined, and take some action. And if you need some help, reach out to somebody. We live in an amazing world right now where you can go online and you can learn everything and anything that you want. There's AI tools that you can use as an assistant, not to replace, because it's not replacing anything. Use that as an assistant, use it as a tool, and it's going to help you move the needle faster. Maybe you need to reach out to somebody. Maybe you need an accountability partner. Whatever it is, find that piece. Like, you need to be resourceful if you want to gain some success, right? You have the world at your fingertips in the palm of your hand to be resourceful on the thing that you want to learn. If I can help you in any way, please reach out. My name is Paul Maynard. I love to share. I love to tell stories. I have a lot of different experiences where I understand what it's like to start a business from nothing. I know what it's like to start a business from a really hard, dark, emotional place. I know what it's like to get on a stage in front of 100 people and be sweating bullets, but glad that I did all these things. I know what it's like to, meet somebody and start talking about a brand new business that I started and not really know everything about it, but I decided to talk about it anyway because I knew the only way that I was going to get better was to talk about it. So that's what you have to do. You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone and out of that fearful place to get over it and go, oh man, I'm so glad I did that. I feel really good about myself, and this is not a big-headed thing, an ego thing at all. It's just about learning about yourself, being really self-aware and tapping into the thing that is deep in your heart of your why. So thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. Again, if I can help you in any way, please reach out to me. I wish you all the best in the world. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. Go out there and, enjoy the journey, not the destination, because the destination is when it's all over. Take care.